I am president of Color for YouTube. Joel Sayings. That is Samantha Lomusico. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Oh, Macio.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, we're here to talk some Dark Shadows. Today is actually the anniversary of when Jonathan Fritz's character, Barnabas Collins, debuted on Dark Shadows, April 18th, 1967, that is. So, Samantha, when did you first get into Dark Shadows?
It was during lockdown COVID days. I'm a big fan of Tim Burton, and I remember seeing his Dark Shadows movie and not knowing that, hey, that was a TV show. And then I heard some people talking about it in the office, and they're older people. And I was like, that's a TV show. It was really that good. Like, yeah, we used to run home and watch it. So during lockdown, I started watching it and I didn't finish it. I mean, I didn't stop until it was finished. Within a few months, I finished watching it and my new obsession.
Cool, cool. So you were more familiar with the movie before the series.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Uh, who's some of your favorite characters?
Anything that Nancy Barrett played, every character she played, absolutely loved. And Michael Storka as Bruno, and I just fell in love with him. I thought he was the best looking one. So I liked it when he was on camera. And then, of course, Marie Wallace as Jenny and Eve and Megan. I know she gets some hard. People don't really like the Leviathan storyline, but hey, I like Marie, so it's okay.
I'm going to be doing a video about that soon, actually. I've done a couple about that. Somebody asked me to, too. Uh, it is an interesting storyline. Now, what do you make of the Leviathan? Are they serpent people? Are they UFOs? Are they aliens? What are they to you?
Well, I thought since it's supposed to be, I thought he was supposed to be like a Cthulhu type of creature, but then
Yeah,
there's the snakes on the pendant. So yeah, I would guess some kind of reptile, fishy thing.
yeah. Yeah, this is something I was saying here the other day. I said, well, an alien is an alien organism. Like literally, an alien could take any form if it wanted to, really, because we don't know much about it. So, I mean, they're kind of alien-esque in a way, because we don't know what they actually look like. We know they take human form, right?
Right.
But we don't know what they actually look like. I mean, do they look like snakes? Maybe. So,
Oh,
so there is that. Now you do a coloring book, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I'm the I got to be the official artist for the Dark Shadows coloring book um, because I wanted one, and I started to just make one, and I asked around. I'm like, who do I need to get in contact with to make sure I don't get in trouble for doing this? And it ended up with me with Jim Pearson, who's the head of licensing merchandising, and he said, well, we want to do a coloring book too, so why don't you just do it for us?
Cool.
And I'm on it. Let's do it.
Oh,
And then
that's awesome.
like that so much, then he asked me to do the paper dolls, and that was a fun experience too, because that was kind of my first attempt at doing paper dolls, and it turned out pretty good.
Cool. That's awesome. I love the people consider the Collinsport Afghan the Afghan of evil. What's your thoughts on it?
I don't think it's evil. I think it's clever. It was,
I've heard that said throughout the fandom, so that's why I asked.
I just think it's funny that it's
Is it?
there's the it's a
Yeah.
game. Where is the blanket? Where's the blanket? So yeah, it's an inside joke for people who actually really are into the show. They get the joke.
Yeah. Yeah, it is everywhere. Like it pops up in Sam's cottage, it pops up in someone's bedroom, living room, wherever. It seems to just move magically. Whatever. It's really funny. Uh,
It's over 100 years old because it was on Barnabas back. at the old house in 1795.
There you go. That's right. That's right. It was. So, what did you think of Barnabas? Because there's been many iterations of Barnabas. Obviously, Jonathan Fritz, Ben Cross, Johnny Depp, Alex. I think Newman is his name, if I'm not mistaken. Which he was. That was an unaired pilot. So, what are your there's again? So there's many different Barnabases. So, who's your favorite?
Gotta go with the original. I did finally watch the 1991 revival because it's on Prime now, and I got
Yes.
that. And Ben was good, but he was just so mean. He just he wasn't as sympathetic as Jonathan, I think. Uh,
Yeah, he was not. No, but I don't think he. Again, he's not necessarily meant to be either, too. So that's the fun part. He's very James Bond-ish, if you will, right?
See that? Yeah,
He's very charming. I like how he's upfront with his inner circle. He goes, "Oh, by the way, Dr. Hoffman, that's the witch." Until he comes out of there, which is really interesting. Uh, so, what did you think of Jonathan Frid's Barnabas? He appears at the end of episode 211. What were your thoughts of the character?
well, that's what I was waiting for because as the I don't even know what generation it would be considered. Maybe like third generation, maybe second generation. I already knew Barnabas, so I was waiting for him to happen. And I was just when he finally shows up, he just started plotting like, "Yay, this is it! Okay, now it's really starting."
Yeah,
And it was great.
did you watch it on the Sci-Fi Channel or did you watch it on streaming?
I streamed it.
There you go. It's all over. Well, it's on Tubi. Do you have the Coffin box set?
I do. That was a gift given to me by Jim Pearson after I did the coloring book. Uh,
Cool.
he sent it to me, and it really helped to capture all the costumes for the paper doll book, so I can watch and pause and have a nice clean picture.
Cool. I love your background there.
Yeah.
It's very nice. That is awesome. Have you ever done any like hand drawn work of the characters?
Um, yeah, I ended up just doing it on a tablet, but yeah, I've drawn by hand.
Cool,
I don't
cool,
know if it's like by pencil sketching, but no, I've been getting into digital art lately.
cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. But what did you think of Dr. Julia Hoffman and Barnabas's relationship? Sometimes it was very untrusting, and sometimes they were really good friends.
I I love their camaraderie and she was just so devoted and they were like best friends towards the end. And if you think back to the beginning, it's like he tried to kill you at least two or three times. She must have memory lapse or something and she doesn't remember all. Then she's just like his ride or die, which was really cool. And then if you watch the Johnny Depp one and you see how spoiler alert, he kills her and is like, okay, they totally messed this up. Now I know why everybody hates the Tim Burton movie. And I don't blame them. They killed or they didn't even do the best friendship of the whole series. They kind of just turned her into a villain.
I wonder what Willie Loomis, um, because Willie Loomis is in the movie, but he's not in the movie a whole lot. And when he is, he kind of is. He's loyal to Barnabas, but it's like so. Was there supposed to be more with Willie and Barnabas? I always wondered that, or you know what I mean?
No, I don't think he played that much of a role in the Tim Burton movie, really.
No, he didn't play like a big role, but he was there. Like when they're disposing of Julia's body, they dump it in the water. Him and Barnabas. So I always wondered, like, when they were doing this movie, was there anything like written for the two characters to be more of them? But there wasn't a lot of them in the together in the movie. There was a lot of there was some of Barnabas and Julia, but like you said, she betrays him. She ends up making herself into like a vampire almost, which is interesting.
Interesting take.
It's, it's, what
It's
did you
still, I still watch it. I still have it on Blu-ray. I still watch it. I just love that, like, oh, I know what this story's really supposed to be, but I'm still gonna watch this.
have you watched all three movies?
The um the ones that Dan Curtis did.
Yes.
Did he do three or just two?
Well, he did two movies. He did Night
Yeah.
House of Dark Shadows and Night of Dark Shadows, and then there was Tim Burton's 2012 movie.
Right. No, yeah, I saw all of them. I thought I thought House was better than Night. Or maybe I'm getting those mixed up. With the one with Quentin and Angelique, was that House or was that Night?
That was Night of Dark Shadows.
Okay, Night. I don't want to get those two mixed up. But Night I did like a lot better. I thought that was a really thrilling one. And
Yeah,
I loved seeing John Carlin and Nancy Barrett as a couple. I think they play really well off each other. Um, and it was kind of a story that we didn't really know and didn't have any spoilers like the other one where it's like, well, we know Barnabas and um, Maggie.
yeah. It's interesting because like Night of Dark Shadows is more of the complete supernatural haunted house feel, uh, where House of Dark Shadows is your vampire story. It's a true sort of more Hammer-esque movie, though it's not made by Hammer.
Pretty bloody,
It is. It is. Oh my God. Carolyn as a vampire in that movie is really dark.
gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
That shot of her, like it's all black, pitch black, but then you just see her in this gorgeous flowy shroud, and she's just so pale, and it's it's beautiful.
How long have you been into art? When did you first get into art?
It's been about 30 years
Cool. That's awesome.
in, in fine art, mostly fine art is how I started.
Cool. Do you remember the first thing like you drew or colored?
Um, well, as like a kid, yeah, I remember drawing like Mickey Mouse and everything like that. But the first time I really knew I was good at it was in high school, where we had to recreate Vincent van Gogh's Sunflowers,
Yeah.
and I did it, and it looked just like his, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I got it, and I it took off from there. I ended up being able to recreate any of his works, and then I trained myself to do cartooning, and I always wanted to be in animation and be like an ink and paint girl, but I
Cool.
was too late because they don't do that anymore. It's all digital.
It's a lot of it's digital. Yeah. I remember watching all that growing up, watching all that hand drawn animation stuff. It's like, so, but yeah, what did you now? Liz and Roger, obviously, their brother and sister. What did you think of Joan Bennett and Lewis Edmonds' chemistry?
For me, it didn't really kick in until we go back to 1795 and then we see them playing two different characters from what we've seen before. And it was almost like they really were completely different. We forgot that was Roger and Liz. And then they just did such a good job with the makeup and the hair and the costuming. And it was fun to see how they would change with every. don't know if you call them flashbacks, yeah, with every flashback. Um, but yeah, when they were just Roger and Liz, they didn't. I don't recall them having that much to do together, did they?
Well, they did in like if like in the very beginning episodes. They
I guess
were it was
when
very
David
back and forth banter. I'm sorry, go ahead.
when David was really bad in the beginning, I guess that was what brought them together. With
Yeah, because David is Roger's kid. Um, I I say that in air quotes because I always believe that David is Burke's kid, but I could be wrong. Uh,
Forgot about that. Possible. Well, no, wait, that's proven wrong because he looks just like his grandfather
so the,
Jameson. So
yeah, he looks like Jameis. So there you go. There you go. Uh,
and that gene pool, man.
I like to have a little instigation every now and again. Don't mind me. Uh, but Lewis Edmonds and Jen Bennett, like he moves some point in time before, long before Victoria shows up, he moves back in the Collinwood. But he's given all his inheritance away. He spent all that money, and basically she had to buy up everything that he gave because somebody else would own stock in the company. Well, she didn't want that. Like he says, I had fun with my money, as he puts it in the beginning episodes. Um, and David is a hellion. I mean, he's kind of spawn of Satan ish. He's not quite Michael Myers level, but he's getting there. He tries to murder his dad, which is really interesting. He removes the bleeder valve from his dad's car. Uh,
Hmm.
so there's a lot of Lewis Edmonds is Roger Collins is against Victoria coming there. Liz obviously hires her, but she also tells Roger, "Hey, remember you hired this girl," and he goes, "I what? No, I didn't hire this girl. You brought her here." So there's this whole cat and mouse game of Liz wants to hide certain things from Victoria because she knows things about her. And even Roger's like suspicious of her. So there's this whole cat and mouse between her and her brother over Victoria Winters. Uh, Vicky does do a lot to help David over the course of time.
I think it really turned David really turned around being mean was the turning point was when Laura tried to burn him alive. I think after that that scared the crap out of him and he just was on his best behavior it seemed after that.
Part of that too, and when you watch I just covered the episode where Vicky gets rescued by Burke and Roger, and
Hmm.
it's the before that you see the ghost of Bill Malloy tell him, help Miss Winters," and before David would he would be so guilty conscious of going to jail or being sent away. Now he does get concerned about that, but he does make the conscious decision to help Miss Winters to say where she is. She's behind the old bookshelf and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So, which is really cool because Matthew Morgan at that time was the only person who knew about it. Uh, there, David's character also. Uh, now, what did you? We get Jason McGuire does show up. He brings a man named Willie Loomis, uh, who's initially played by John James Hall, I think. Uh,
Yeah.
then is replaced by John Carlin. What did you think of Jason McGuire and Willie Loomis?
I liked the introduction of these two characters into the show. It was like um it was just nice to see some new characters, really.
Cool.
Some new antagonists for the Collins family.
What did you make of Laura, the Phoenix, if you will?
Well, she was hot. You gotta love a blonde with superpowers.
Yes, blonde bombshell for sure. She really was. Diana Malay is absolutely beautiful in that role.
Gorgeous.
Uh, she's very pretty. She's very easily charming. She charms. She's the first woman to really seduce Burke Devlin.
Did she?
Yeah, she kind of does.
I think she kind of has like a spell she could put on any man, really.
Yeah.
Well, especially if we go back to 1897 and she gets her claws into Dirk and really puts a spell on him.
You know, all somebody had to do was tell Dirk Wilkins, look, if you just wait 100 years, the chick will be back, okay? Like
It's coming back.
she'll be back. Like just like chain yourself up in a coffin like Barnabas, it'll be okay.
She totally had he he had the ability at that point. He should have just ran and just like, hey, just sit tight.
Right. It was he
Where's the
was
family on that?
yes, he was in love with her, right?
I love that storyline so much. I love the 1897. It's so great.
Yeah.
Everything that happened.
Aristide and the dancing lady, that little knife he carried around.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. Good times. What did you think of Count Andreas Patofe?
He's hilarious looking. It's like at first when you meet him, like, oh my gosh, there and this wig and those big glasses and the jewel of him. Fantastic. And then it was a lot of like, oh, I didn't see that coming kind of things the first time watching. That was really great.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my dog's barking, um, but what he, well, I think that David had chose the makeup look actually of how Patofe would look, if I'm not mistaken. But he, the fact that they have this severed looking hand, uh, and Magda steals it from her own people, the gypsy, to help Quentin. But she's not good at operating it. Neither is Angelique. Which you have Quentin who summons Angelique straight out of hell. So him and Evan Hanley. So there's a lot that goes on in 1897. I mean, really good stuff. It,
And I think there's a cat. Sorry.
it's okay.
She
It's a,
was there.
you have a beautiful animal there.
Yeah. She's a little
That's okay. My dog's barking. Your cat's it's okay. My cat's actually right in front of me. You can't see her, but she's like sitting right in front of my computer, so it's all good. Um, but is sorry. If you'd like to share some drawings, you more than can. I'd love if you'd like to.
how do I do? I don't remember how to change it. Oh, here we go. Mhm, mhm. Don't know. Oh, it says only the host can share. I'm not quite- Well, if you want to see drawings, I have a lot of drawings on my Facebook account, which is Dark Shadows the Musical.
Yeah,
It's a haunted Afghan production, which
cool.
is also our Instagram. On
Yeah,
Instagram, haunted Afghan, and you'll see some of our drawings. And then there's a new book that we're working on. This one just came out. Ooh, I don't know if you can see it.
very nice. See in the red there. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know how this works. Sorry, I'm not really good with Zoom.
It's okay. I'm not like a tech wizard myself. I'm pretty horrible at like computers and stuff. So
There we go. I think I figured it out. Boom.
there you go. That looks nice.
Done. That's the one that we have out right now. This one just came out a couple weeks ago. It's the Curious Characters of Collinwood. Let me back out.
Very pretty.
And that's on Amazon only. And it's the first in a series. We're doing, it's going to be like six of them.
Cool.
So
That's
this is,
awesome.
yeah, this one's for 17.95.
That's awesome.
The one we're wrapping up 1897 right now, so I have a lot of just 1897 in my head because I've been working on them. So then the
Yeah,
next will be 1840. That'll be half 1840, half 1841 parallel, and then Parallel Time will get their own book, and it'll start with Parallel Time, and then it'll like finish with 1995 because that's where they go right after Parallel Time. And then there'll be one book of just the modern timeline. But yeah,
yeah,
they're great. And I'm not. This is a collaboration. This is George Hernandez is the artist and the author. I'm sure if anybody has been on the Dark Shadows Appreciation Society Facebook, they would have seen a lot of his sketches, and he would write these poems. And he was doing this about 3 years ago, off and on. And I saw the potential, and I said, we need to put these in a book. These are fantastic. And so he gives me the drawings and the poems, and I do the ink and paint, just like I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to be the ink and paint girl,
oh,
and I edit everything, and we finally had time together.
that's awesome. That's awesome. What's your favorite time travel storyline? Is it 1897?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love turn of the century costuming anyway, and just to see it, even though you can see the zippers up the back of the dresses, because that's not how, doesn't matter. It's great. They're great costumes. And the mutton chops and the top hats.
Yes. Well, Quentin's whole out the fact that he actually starts off with fake sideburns and he grows real ones eventually, which is not so. Uh, what did you think of? Because Grayson Hall plays a bunch of characters too. What did you think of Magda?
Magda was fantastic. I loved her. I loved her costume. Um I don't know about the wig, but they did a really good job. She was almost unrecognizable with that makeup and the hair and her really thick accent.
Yeah,
Really fun that they utilized her that way.
yeah, it's really cool. What did you? How much of? What did you think of 1970 Parallel Time?
That was interesting. I remember seeing the movie Rebecca, and it reminded me a lot of that. So I could see the parallels with that of the first wife is haunting the house type of thing.
Yeah,
I was really see Angelique as like the star of the show for once.
yeah, yeah. The fact that she gets to play twin, Alexis and Angelique, she gets really good, really good. Oh my God. What did you think of eight or sorry, 1995?
It was so short. It was sad. I didn't like seeing Carolyn all old and crazy, and it was depressing. And it was only like what 10 episodes or so. It
Yeah,
wasn't that long.
9 episodes of terror.
Oh, that's close. 9 episodes.
I always say that it felt like George A. Romero was writing and directing Dark Shadows at that point. Because he was very much post-apocalyptic, and really, I mean, when you think of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead, and you think of Dark Shadows at that time, Collinwood at that time was our world. We didn't really go into town a lot. We didn't go to the Blue Whale a bunch of times, or the Eagle, if you will. It was all the great house, the old house, and eventually Rose Cottage, but we weren't going into town. So when they destroyed Collinwood, it was like, why? What happened? It was terrifying.
To see all the beams on the floor and the plants.
Yeah, absolutely.
The video
A sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just think it was severe to see the big mess they made.
A broken Professor Stokes. A broken Professor Stokes. Oh my gosh. Uh, what's your what's your favorite moment from 1795?
Oh, when Angelique goes to Ben at first just to get him to help her, and he thinks she's hitting on him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll do anything you want, lady. Let's go." She's like, I don't think so. I thought that was pretty great. Just those little moments that are moments of levity that stick out the most. And like when they turn Joshua into a cat, I thought that was fantastic. That was so clever.
Yeah, I really like the the fact that Angelique puts him under the spell. Joshua as a cat is funny because Thayer David's Ben Stokes wants Angelique to turn him into a jackass, but she won't, which is funny. It's like, okay, you want to turn him into a donkey. Really? Really? That's what you want to turn him into? But no, she turns him into a cat. She's like shocked by Ben's request too. She's like, Ben, really? Like, which is funny. Dark Shadows has moments of humor, and for all its darkness and dark fantasy and gothic, if you will.
Right. And that's actually one of the things in our 1795 book. Whoop,
Yeah. Cool.
there's Joshua.
As a cat, yeah. I like that.
Angelique, she's like, "Oh, where'd that cat come from?" And then here's Ben smiling
Cool.
pillar because he knows exactly where that cat came from. So
Yeah,
great moments from 1795 that we have in our book.
that's awesome.
Here's another good one. The vision of Josette on the cliff. Of
All very nice. That's awesome.
course, we have our nice little home to go with it. Right on.
Yes, that's so cool. Did you
It is.
guys did you guys do like the wedding of Barnabas and Angelique?
We sure did. Let me do it. There it
Very
is.
nice. That is
I,
beautiful.
George's George, our artist, his he's a I'm not saying it in a bad way, he's a boomer. And he was there. He got to run home every day. So yes, you can see his mid-century style art. I love the way
That's
he draws characters.
that's beautiful. It's very
Yeah.
nice. It's awesome. I did I did like the fact that during the wedding, the only Collins family member there is Naomi.
Hmm.
And she gives them the house for a wedding gift. Like, here's your prize. Here's your wedding gift. It's the whole house. Oh my,
Take stuff that we don't want anymore.
right, right. Oh my gosh. What what did you think of Angelique? Because there's very little to no build up to the character in the original series. What did you think of Laura Parker as Angelique?
I was surprised it took so long to get to her.
Yeah,
Well, because from the Tim Burton movie, she's there in the beginning of the movie. They already introduced her.
yeah.
So I was like, when are they going to get to Angelique? When are they going to? And that was like 200, not 200 episodes of later, but quite a bit after we meet Barnabas. It takes a while till we meet Angelique, but I thought she's gorgeous and her eyes are just so beautiful and expressive. And she really took that role and ran with it. Like she made it her own thing. And I don't think they'll ever
Yeah.
anybody else that could match it.
Yeah, yeah. The only real sort of tease we get of her is when Dr. Hoffman is in the mausoleum. You hear a woman weeping, and then you hear a wicked woman laughing, but it's not Laura Parker's legendary Angelique laugh. So it's not Laura Parker herself. That's sort of your hint that something more is going on with Barnabas before 1795, but it's not much of a buildup. It's not like they're saying, "Oh, hey, there's a witch." Um, they
Notice that. To go back and see that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's like before the seance. I'll have to get the episode number. I'll send it to you. But it's really interesting because by this point, Dr. Woodard's dead. She's kind of talking to Sarah at this point. Dr. Hoffman is, and she goes into the mausoleum and she's kind of scared because she's hearing this. Like she doesn't know who it is, and they don't reveal who it is right then and there because again they're not going to. But
All right.
it's really cool. I mean, it's a little bit of a tease. It's not much, but I do feel sometimes the Dark Shadows writers they did less with more, and then when they bring in Laura Parker, my God, they get her over in the first episode, like the very first one she's in. They get her over. They get her character over, which is really cool. Really,
Yeah.
really cool. Um, What? So 1841 parallel time. The lottery, the lottery that nobody wants to win. Um, what did you think of that?
I thought it was very confusing the first time I watched it. I didn't quite understand what was going on. It seemed to go really fast
Yeah,
and it was very mysterious. And I don't know if it was I guess it's referencing some old story, but I never heard of it, so it was really I it seemed very original to me. I don't but I guess it is something a short story, right?
yeah. It's really the fact that they have one of the Collins family members, an actual blood relative, curse their own, and you get Jonathan playing the uh, Bramwell, the son of Barnabas, and you get to see uh, there's an actress named Mary Cooper who's playing an actual. We get to see Josette old. We get to see Josette as an older woman, which we
Mhm.
never got to see before. It was something very different, and I always feel that's what Dark Shadows tried to be. It tried to be very different and unique at times. What? Sorry.
Those like parallel times for like fan fictions. Like, well, what if Josette never died? What if he really did have a son that looked like Barnabas?
Is there any
Maggie
fan?
Hinton, and that's the other parallel time.
Yeah. Now, have you read any fan fiction of Dark Shadows or?
No, I haven't. The closest was probably on Terror of Collinwood when Penny Dreadful read the whole script for the unaired, not the unaired, the original script for the Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
Probably the closest I've ever gotten to hearing fan fiction because that sounded like fan fiction.
There's a good bit out there. Uh,
I'm sure there is. I don't have time to read anything. I'm too busy drawing on working on these books.
I read the Return of Dark Shadows, which was written by John Philip Betancourt, and he spent 5 years on it. It's real interesting. Uh, but yeah, I've read. There's a bunch of stuff. Some things I wrote and all that. Uh, as a Dark Shadows fan and a Halloween fan, I brought Michael Myers to Collinsport once upon a time in a blog because it was fun. Uh, so I mean, there's a bunch of fan fiction. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. But if if the original show continued, what's something you would have liked to see?
I'd like to see what happened to Amy Jennings.
Yeah, yeah,
Would have liked to seen a flashback of Nora Collins. What happened to her? Because she survived. And I guess they did do an audio story where there's a book or something where it's her life in the 20s and all the bad stuff that happens to her.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure they wrote so many books and radio plays. I'm sure it's all been covered.
Now, if you could bring any fictional character to Collinsport, who would you bring?
No character. It's a good question. I don't know who I would bring. I guess we could do a crossover with Alice in Wonderland.
There
That'd
you
be
go.
that'd be my favorite one. And then someone's trying to chop off people's heads.
Yeah, the Mad Hatter.
Fantastic. The Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, the Queen of Hearts. That would be fun. I would love to see something like that. That would be really cool. That would be really awesome. Um, I wouldn't mind like seeing the Shadow if you're familiar with that. Like Lamont, like the Shadow shows up in and he starts investigating things, but nobody knows he's in town because one of his agents is recruiting, who he recruited is actually working for the Collins. So that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. Um, in my opinion, that would be crazy. I could see the Shadow meeting Barnabas Collins. That would be really interesting. That would be really interesting. But really cool. Really, really, really cool. What what did you think of what did you think of I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of the character. What did you think of oh god, Professor Stone?
Again, another great change of character. I couldn't believe that that was Matthew Morgan. He was just, as Professor Stokes, he was just so dapper and just so clever. And he was kind of like the hero, no matter what you need. Oh, Stokes can help you with that. And he's an expert on that. He can help educate a creature. He can tell you everything you need to know. Well, I guess it's because of his lineage.
Yeah, yeah,
Stokes kind of handing that down of like, hey, there are supernatural forces out there, so you better start studying if you're going to live here.
yeah. If is there something Dark Shadows didn't do that you'd like to see done, like if they ever have a new series?
Would it be blasphemy if they left Collinwood?
Not really.
Would it still be a show if they actually, traveled? I don't know.
Well,
That would have
Quentin,
been to see like when Quentin and Laura go to Egypt. That would have
yeah,
been just go on set, go on scene to those distant areas.
yeah, that'd be really cool. I would, I'd like to see them like either go to England or something because they always talk about it. Like Barnabas says, "I'm from England," but he's not really. Right? It's like maybe a long time ago you were, but um, I
Quentin's
know.
adventures, like when he's out traveling the world for that, what, 80 years searching. I bet you there's some really great stories that they could have filled all that in of his from 1897 to 1969.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
He was so,
Really, really awesome.
did anybody ever write something about that? Or did
What? What's that?
about
I'm sorry.
about the span of between 1897 and 1969?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because my memory sucks too. So I'm horrible at that. I'm not too sure, but that is a great question. I don't have an answer for you. I wish I did.
Great movie. That and Samantha. Oh, but didn't they do? There was like a movie called Age of Adeline where there was a woman who didn't age at all, and she had to keep
Yeah,
her child or her grandchild. I can imagine that's exactly what Amanda Harris had to do. I think that
yeah,
is what she did.
yeah, yeah. I I would like to see like cat people incorporated in the Dark Shadows. You ever see the original Jack Turner's cat people?
Heard of it. I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
it's really interesting. It has a lot of psychology to it. But yeah, but goodness. Uh, is there anything you want to add before we go? I'd love to bring you back.
I will be at the 60th anniversary convention here, and I'm in Southern California, so it's like only an hour away from Burbank, 2 hours maybe. So I
Cool.
will be there. I'm planning to dress up like the fabulous Crazy Jenny from 1897. I'm hoping it's not going to be too hot because she's
Right.
wearing black long sleeves. But yeah, if you see Crazy Jenny at the convention, that's me.
Cool. That's awesome.
And George, my co illustrator for the Curious Characters of Collinwood, he's going to be there too, and he is planning to dress up like Count Petofi. I hope he does,
Awesome.
but that's the plan. We'll both be there, and there was mention, or it was brought to me that I could speak at the convention if I wanted to. I don't know what I would speak about, but the invitation was there for as the artist for the official coloring book and dolls, the paper dolls.
Speak about your love for Dark Shadows. You're a fan,
And but there's going to be like 12 of the original cast there, and I'd rather hear from them.
right?
I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to get more autographs.
There you go. There you go. I'd love to bring you back sometime. Whenever you get free time, please. When could you come back?
I'm here. If you have anything you want to talk about.
I'd love to talk about the whole werewolf storyline with you sometime.
Okay.
Like the whole thing. How? Let's see. Let's see. April 2nd, or sorry, not May 2nd. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Don't mind me. Sorry. How's May 2nd? I'm sorry.
It's 7th.
The 7th. The 7th is good.
Oh, did you say 2nd or 7th?
Oh, I said the 2nd, but I can do the 7th.
I could do either.
Okay, we'll do the 2nd. It's the same time, okay? I want to thank you so much for coming on and
No,
and
think
bearing with
about.
me and my craziness here. Tolerating me very much. I will leave a link in the description box to Amazon to where you can get your book. Um,
Yeah.
you can also get Samantha on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a good day. Have a good night. Sorry.
Yeah.
Take care, Samantha.
You too.
Bye bye.